And we're having a chat with Amina Figerova and Bart Platteau, who are kind of passing through on their way to other parts of the States and doing some touring in support of that new release, Suite for Africa. You mentioned you were in New Orleans, and you're off to Minneapolis and over to...
Nebraska.
Okay.
This weekend.
Yeah.
Fun. Having fun out there?
Yes.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
A lot of driving.
It's quite amazing.
Yes.
That's cool.
Let's touch on some things for those listeners who aren't familiar with you, Amina. Come from Baku, Azerbaijan, and grew up learning classical piano.
That's right.
I always find it interesting, all these great pianists who learn classical music and somehow make it to the jazz world. How did you hop into the jazz world back in the day?
Well, the story actually ties up with, why and how I wrote African Suite. But to start with, yes, I grew up in Azerbaijan. It's a country of lots of percussion and lots of improvisation. So our folk music based on mogam, which is improvisational music. And besides, we have the percussion tradition. So we have percussion bands, and I grew up listening to all these rhythms. And jazz was always the probably most popular until today music. And for the same reasons, because we, improvise and because we love percussions and drums. So I grew up listening to jazz. I grew up listening to, all types of music, of course, and studied classical music and was writing music since I was 3. So it is kind of a sudden transition, and it isn't at the same time, because in a way it's, natural. But at the same time, when I was studying classical music, I didn't think about jazz, because it was like tunnel vision, like, okay, this is all you do. You just practice Rachmaninoff and all, yes. But then I was invited to the Netherlands, and then I was invited to do something with my music. And so one led to another, and then I met this incredible jazz pianist whose way of playing spoke to me deeply, and I decided to try it. And then within a year, I was at the Berkeley College. So it was just like, I always describe my life experiences as being taken by a waterfall and just saying, take me, let it go, just take me wherever it takes.
And you met Mr. Platteau in those studies along the way, right?
Yeah, he was part of the waterfall.
In Rotterdam.
Yes, so we met there.
Yeah, you mentioned you came to the States to study at Berkeley.
Yeah.
And you've been in the States ever since.
No, actually, we came to Berkeley. We studied for one semester. Then we went back to the Netherlands, and we moved back to New York. I mean, not back to, but we moved to New York only at the end of 2010. So, it was about 14, 15 years in the United States now.
But you were certainly here for, we just noted the 23rd anniversary of 9/11.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And you were in New York City.
Yes.
Actually performing.
I was going back and forth since 90s, playing quite a lot, but also during 9/11. But I was just not living here. Yeah.
Talk a little bit about that experience and what it actually turned out to be a couple of different discs that were informed by your 9/11 experiences.
I was in New York performing with a vocalist from the Netherlands, and played on, September 9, and then the September 11 came, and it was very, very surreal experience, very surreal, very, you couldn't believe just what happened. And it was crazy, but after all, it was an amazing experience to be in Manhattan and to experience the unity among the people and kindness that I haven't seen, in this kind of volume, So it was quite an amazing experience, and the 9/11 composition became a tribute to mourning. Also because January after my father passed away, so I experienced mourning, very close. And so it grew up to a suite dedicated to mourning. Yeah.
It's a beautiful, beautiful album, beautiful disc. And
Thank you.
I think Blue Whisper had some aspects of that too, did it not?
No, I wouldn't say that.
No?
No, not particular. No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Talk a little bit about you were part of the Thelonious Monk Jazz Colony out in Aspen, which sounded like kind of a fun time.
That was an incredible time. I found out very last moment about the summer camp because, if I knew about the 2-year program, I would probably apply for that, but I just didn't because I was living in Europe. And I didn't know, Bart didn't apply, my husband didn't apply for it because we didn't know, we just did it like last moment. And when I was accepted, he last moment kind of applied. He was not allowed to participate actively, but passively. So anyway, he was with me for the ride. But it was an amazing experience because we had most fantastic teachers. Kenny Barron was there, Nathan Davis was there, many other incredible musicians, Daniel Perez, and the students I've studied with became really great colleagues and friends. If you think about our big band there, it was with Wayne Escoffery, Jeremy Pelt, Freddie Hendricks, Mike Moreno, Jaleel Shaw, Jonathan Blake, Andrew Hayward. There's so incredible amount of musicians. Yeah, I think it was one of probably most powerful years.
We are talking with Amina Figerova and Bart Platteau, who is over there.
Yes.
Hey, how are things going with you?
Fine. Busy. We had a very busy year with this project we have, but probably Amina will tell about. And we have 3 more concerts, and then we can relax a little bit.
Yes. We'll get to that. Let's get to that project now. That it's the Suite for Africa, which kind of happened in a weird kind of way, kind of by mistake when you were on the airplane to South Africa at the time, and you can tell the story.
Yeah, no, I was on the plane. There is something with South Africa, but not at the same time.
Okay.
So I was going to. I've been to South Africa for many years, and I've seen a lot of poverty, and I've seen lots of poverty among the kids turning to criminality. And at a certain point, I was giving a master class at the University of Johannesburg and speaking to students, and I understood that they had no access to piano except one tiny keyboard that they were sharing. And they were playing incredible. I'm like, how do you actually play so well if all you do is, sharing that keyboard, And while we were talking about this, I was standing outside with them. I was looking at this building side of this huge soccer stadium, and so I was so upset that they spending so much money to this stadium, millions and millions of dollars, while these students don't get, even second keyboard or anything. So that's when I start thinking, what can I do? And of course, what can I do by myself? Sending books, it's not enough.
Sure.
And so it took me a few years to come up with the idea that I want to write music and bring students with me on stage, but maybe not just the students, but bring children with me on stage. So that was, happening around 2006, 2008, somewhere there. And now we are in 2018, and that's when I asked director of the jazz festival that next time I'm playing the jazz festival in Johannesburg. Would you mind to, if I do something with the children choir, could you find for me a choir? And so she did. She found a choir from Soweto. It's a children choir, not the famous choir from Soweto, but a choir from a school. And so I wrote compositions called Suite for Africa. We rehearsed, we performed it. I did not write lyrics. I just wrote the music. We performed just la 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 da da da. And it was wonderful, but I was so hoping that it's going to be recorded. It was not recorded. In 2019, I was trying to get that whole together, to make the recording, maybe fly back to South Africa. It just didn't work with all my busy schedule. And then 2020, we couldn't fly because of pandemic. So in 2022, myself and my husband, we were in Europe. And we were flying from Europe. We were waiting for departure at the airport. And other airline canceled their flight. And bunch of people ended up on our plane. Among these people was half of the choir. So I was simply waiting for a bathroom when I saw these two beautiful girls, young girls, wearing T-shirts saying World Orphan Choir. So I asked the girls, I say, World Orphan Choir, where are you from? They were like so joyful, like, we're from Africa, we're going to America to sing. And I say, and you are a choir? They say, yes. So I was like, wow, this is crazy. So I've talked to the choir director who was on the plane, told him my story, and then in 2 weeks they contacted me. So apparently this choir is from Liberia, not South, but West Africa, from Liberia. And so this organization called Matsiko World Orphan Choir is the organization. They bring children from Liberia to, not only from Liberia, but mostly they work with the choirs from Liberia, with the children. And so the goal is to collect money for the education, because that's the only way out of poverty. And Liberia is one of the poorest country in the world. So they were coming to America, and thanks for, canceled flight, they end up on my plane.
Yeah.
And so we start talking, and they agreed to, because they sing just simple songs, some written for them, but mostly African traditional songs. And then they agreed to learn my piece, or the directors agreed that the kids would learn my piece, and kids are incredible. They learn everything, by ear and just in no time. And then one of the choir directors, artistic director, Mark Lee Hegarty, he's like, why don't I write lyrics? And you know what happened? When he wrote those lyrics, it felt like the missing piece of the puzzle fell right where it has to be. Because this piece became so powerful and so meaningful. It has the strong message. And the lyrics fit the music like a glove. It's just perfect. It's unbelievable how it's all, how universe conducted it, how it's conducted us to each other. And these children, they sing this music with such love and power and passion and electricity. We've done over 20, 30, I didn't count, concerts all over the United States this year, in big festivals, small venues, concert halls, just name it. And literally every time you hear that, people say it's life-changing. People who were depressed came out saying that was the first time in months they felt good. I had a couple of people saying that. The most incredible reactions. We're playing for 6 shows at the Lincoln Center.
Oh, wow.
I've been playing Lincoln Center many years. I have never seen Lincoln Center standing up dancing with the children like
nice.
that whole club. So it was just an incredible ride. Yeah. and I think it's probably, although it's my music, I have to say, but I have to say that it's probably what's going on in the jazz today. I would say it's probably the most unique project there is.
And there's also instrumental portions of that disc as well that you wrote.
That's right. On a disc, there is an instrumental portion because I wanted to make it to an album, and Suite is 15 minutes. So the music that I wrote for this album, I was trying to complement the suite. So, and just go back to the very beginning, when I said why, my origin connects in a way with the Suite for Africa. Because, as I said, I grew up with lots of percussion music, so I basically used lots of rhythms from my country, which are African rhythms, which are Azerbaijan rhythms. It's funny because sometimes I'd play our traditional percussion music to the children from Liberia, and they dance that, so we feel each other thing. So I used more of these rhythmic traditions to unite the music around the Suite for Africa. But when we perform, as we will be performing again in Minneapolis and Nebraska, and as we performed all over the country, I did the arrangements of the African songs that they perform. And so we have full sextet arrangement performing with the children all the African songs besides the Suite for Africa. And they not only sing, they also dance. They really go to you. They take you out of your chair and they make sure you dance, It's quite incredible.
Bart, talk about a little bit about traveling with the band. It's the regular band that you've been working with for.
Yeah. It's the regular band on the album is Rudy Royston on drums, Yasushi Nakamura on bass, Amina, myself, of course, and then Alex Pope Norris, who is with us since I think 2007 or so, and then Wayne Escovery is also probably 10 years playing with us.
We also work with Yasushi and Rudy for a while.
Yasushi and Rudy too for a long time. I think this combination probably almost 10 years or so. And then, but most of the concerts was with the band, but sometimes we have replacements. Like for tomorrow, we have Troy Roberts on saxophone and a very young trumpet player from California. She's 18, Skylar Tang, and you will hear about her. Neat. She's incredible. We played last year as SF Jazz, and Alex couldn't make the gig because of conflict of dates. And so we asked her, and she stand tall between Wayne Escovery and me, and no rehearsal, just sound check at the gig, and she was incredible. She was 17 at the time. She's getting old. She's 18 now, so yeah, incredible. And then we have a rhythm section from New Orleans for this time. Yeah.
So how many children are in the choir itself then?
24 children, and they from the age 11 till 19.
Is there some challenges out on the road keeping them all corralled and together? And
it's opposite. It's
really?
It's totally opposite. They're so disciplined.
Oh, nice.
When we rehearse and we have a break, you hear nothing. You don't hear, it's nothing like American or European or even Azerbaijan kids. They're just quiet. They're super disciplined. Sometimes they would stay with me, not the whole choir, but sometimes there were 4 children. Sometimes I had 9 children staying with me. And we just, have fun. We sing together. We cook together. They're absolutely disciplined and so sweet. And they just don't want you to do anything. If you're trying to clean or something, they take it out of your hand, they just do it for you. And
they cook, they help cooking.
They're most incredible kids I've ever met.
Yeah, they're very
They're
joyful.
your ideal children you ever want to have.
You got lucky. Well done.
And they travel. They have 2 15-passenger vans and a truck and a trailer. And they always travel by car. And so they have 24 kids, 5 chaperones, and then 3 choir directors who are also the drivers. and that's how they travel. And they do normally 9 months tour over the U.S. They go to churches, community centers, they perform, and their main goal is to collect money for education. And so $40 or $50 per kid per month. And that's what they try to sell education. So their goal was for this tour, which started in April, till 2 weeks from now, to collect 1,000 sponsorships for 1,000 kids.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
And just a couple more concerts before you part.
Yeah.
Going to have some separation anxiety probably.
Yes, yes, yes.
What's you going to do without the kids?
I don't know. We will go to Europe, so that will help because we have concerts in Europe. We have European tour right after. We literally driving to New York on 19th and flying out on 20th, so that'll help.
But we're talking to do more together.
Yeah, I think they will be back. I mean, they definitely coming every year to United States, and they do their own performances. But we are in process of talking. You know, we talk about expanding it. Yeah. Also because this year, of course, they drive, right? We focused on East Coast and some parts of the Midwest, but we couldn't do everything.
Sure.
And I know there are lots of requests. We didn't touch West Coast at all, you know. So I know there's so much more to do, and I know a lot of places want to have us, but we just couldn't manage it all. And also, it's not like, you know, we can fly today to San Francisco and tomorrow to New York, but they have to drive. So we have to always give the time for them to get to the destination.
Sure.
And when it comes to the festivals, it's always tough because festival happen when festival happen.
Right.
Period.
Right.
So this is why we couldn't accommodate. We really get lots of requests, which is amazing because usually as a musician, you're chasing the gig. Here, the gigs were chasing us, but we just couldn't accommodate everybody.
Sure.
Also because of the logistics, like no, they cannot be there at that time, you know. And so, so we do anticipate another tour probably next year, and I don't know. Maybe here.
Maybe.
Who knows?
Maybe international too.
Yeah.
We're talking to maybe do something Europe. We got a request for Japan, so hopefully we can make that happen.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. That is fantastic. So you're off to Europe after this, and then
Yes.
do you have any new music in the works, or is this pretty much taking up all your time?
It took lots of time. I'm also a producer, so I work with other musicians on their projects.
Oh, okay.
That takes some time too.
Yeah.
Which means that I have to actually be writing now.
Hey,
For them.
You have to work again.
Yes, and I do write new music. I did write new music that I will be actually playing on tour in Europe. But I'm thinking of, you know, also expanding music for the children and doing something extra. And I love working also with the traditional songs from Liberia. It's so much fun making arrangements. So it will be probably a combination of more songs from Liberia, maybe other songs from other parts of Africa. Definitely will be writing more. I was actually talking to the choir director who wrote lyrics. He wants to do something together. So there's lots of plans, that's for sure. But the work itself, Suite for Africa, that's for sure something we're going to perform more, yes.
Well, it's a wonderful, wonderful project.
Thank you.
Well done. Kudos to you. Well,
Thank
to you. I guess to both of you, but
Thank you.
so it was wonderful to have you stop by and take some time on this busy schedule of yours. And
Thank you for having us.
Yes, and have fun up in Minneapolis and over in Nebraska, I guess. You're in somewhere in Nebraska out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, Omaha on Lincoln on
Okay, Lincoln.
Saturday and Omaha on Sunday. Yeah.
And then you're...
And then Monday we do something really quick in the Moy for Abe, just a duo,
Yeah.
small
okay.
thing for
neat.
Abe Goldstein.
Okay, sure.
Yeah.
At Caspe Terrace. Right?
Yeah, I don't know where it is. I don't think it's there. But
Oh, no, okay.
but something
Yeah.
that he organizes, like a weekly thing or so. I don't know exactly.
Okay. Neat, neat.
Yeah.
Well,
And
again,
And then in
back to
3
New York.
days, and then in 3 days
We
we'll
will
be
be
already
in
in
Switzerland.
Europe playing in Switzerland. Yeah. So
well, good luck and
Thank
and safe travels. And
Thank
thank you
you.
so much for taking some time out. And congratulations on your success. And
thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you for
Again-
having us. I'm happy to share the story because, you know, I know that it's such a heartfelt story of these kids. And if you just, you know, Google Matsiko.org and you will see what is this organization doing and what level of poverty these kids are living. I'm talking about no food, like no daily food. They usually eat like once in 2 days. Sometimes as the rain falls, the rains right into their little tin houses or cardboard houses, and it fills up with water, which is full with snakes and scorpions. They don't have running water. They don't have stoves. The electricity is then yes and then no and nothing, like no refrigerators. It's a level of poverty we can't even imagine here. But the joy these children have. So anyone who feels like, you know, can always help them to Matsiko.org.
that's MITSIKO.org.
Yes.
And
exactly.
you might want to pass along is it AminaFigerova.com?
That's right.
And that's your website.
And
Yeah.
if you put our names together, Amina Figerova Matsiko, on YouTube channel, you will see the third part of my suite that was filmed in Liberia, which is a beautiful, beautiful video.
And filmed by the kids themselves.
Yes,
neat.
children, they filmed it themselves. Yes.
And
That's
the
cool.
creative director is making a 6-episode documentary about the choir.
Okay.
And also about the project together with Amina.
Yes.
All right. We'll look for that in the future
Yes,
then, too.
yeah.
Excellent. Well, again, thank you for stopping by. And
Thank you.
again, good luck
Thanks
with
for
your
having us.
travels and your music, and looking forward to more from you both.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bob.
Thank you.